The buffer bins, in particular, because they're sheltered. It's kind of warm. Nobody knows you're there.
So you can see the driver as he starts to lift the container, and then it disappears from the view from the front camera over the top of the cab, and then the other camera you get is looking into the hopper. And as you can see from this video, despite doing all the checks we can, there was still somebody in this container.
Because it does happen, and it has happened, and that's why you just got to be aware of it. Just got the chances of someone being in there maybe minimum, but they could be in there. So this is what we're going to do every bin, every time. We're going to check it.
A recycling centre near the docks in Bristol. Thousands of tonnes of plastic and cardboard come through here each day. In 2014, staff here called the police after finding human remains in a bale of cardboard. The fingerprints were matched to 34-year-old Matthew Simons. He'd been turned away from a homeless hostel a few nights before after getting there too late. CCTV showed him sleeping on a bench before, it's thought, he crawled into a recycling bin in the back of a shopping centre.
When something like that happens, it is absolutely devastating. There's nothing that can be said or done for the families because whatever happens, we can't bring these people back.
You looked into it afterwards. Was there anything that could have been done in that case differently?
Honestly, I don't think there could have been. I really don't think there could have been. The driver checked the bin. We've got evidence that the driver checked the bin. And that's the worrying thing about this. No matter how well we check our containers, there's absolutely no guarantee that we're going to find everybody.
It happens far more often than you might think. These cameras mounted on bin trucks spotted not one but two people jumping out of larger recycling bins seconds before they were picked up. And this footage, taken at night in Nottingham, shows how dangerous it can be. A large container is picked up and the contents dropped 20 feet. A camera inside the compactor itself shows what happened next.
He was very, very lucky. We managed to get him out. Anybody really that goes through a tipping motion into a truck is very, very lucky. Generally, you're going to be falling onto some waste which is soft, so you've got a little bit of a cushion landing. But if you're not seen, and you know the driver compacts the waste, the issue is you won't be seen until we get to the transfer station.
Getting an idea of the scale or size of this problem is difficult. Biffa is just one waste management company in the UK. In the year to March 2014, they found 31 people in their bins. A year later, that had risen to 93, and in the current financial year, which finishes at the end of March, they have already found 175.
I think there's a combination of factors. Certainly we are putting more effort into our drivers, ensuring they report every person that they found in or around our waste containers. But undoubtedly, I think the numbers of people homeless and needing to sleep rough are increasing as well.
You certainly find that in Bristol. The only dedicated night shelter here has 18 beds. It turns away that many again on a typical night, sometimes many more.
There's a big waiting list. We've got a huge queue. And they're really not scary, but intimidating.
George says he's been homeless since he lost his job before Christmas. His family doesn't know, and he doesn't want his face shown on TV.
At the park, you do get abused and kicked and stuff like that, so the bench can hide so nobody can see you, but you've got to not sleep because if they pick you up then you're in trouble, so you can't not, you know.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
What happened?
We just up the road there, the truck came, it was behind the Tesco's, the truck came, I was nodding off. But you hear the clank, 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 and so I jumped out and I said, "Here, man," and I jumped out now.
For the bin drivers themselves, dealing with all this is now part of the morning routine. Barry starts his shift at 5, picking up large commercial containers from shops and industrial estates.
There could be clothes, could be cigarette packets or anything like that, bottles of alcohol if they've been on the alcohol.
So really something that these things should...
All the bins do have locks
they
to
should
stop
all be locked.
people
Yeah, there is a
getting
lock.
inside. In theory, shops, cafes and other firms can be fined or even taken to court if they don't use them.
That one's locked. Maybe it's the same customer locking their bins. See, that recycling one's locked. But again, you're looking around, just all around everywhere, just see if there's any evidence of anyone. Here's a recycling one now.
That's
See,
the kind of thing you know.
that's what we're looking for there.
It's unscientific, but around half of the bins we found around the back of these shops were left open and completely unlocked.
Yeah, never 2 foot down. Could climb in there, put this lid up. Yeah, they'd be dry, they'd be warm. Yeah, especially in the winter, and because there's so many of it about, like we discussed, that these shelters are all full up now, and they've just got nowhere to go. So this is where they're heading.
Another problem is that we sort and recycle so much more waste these days. That means those large bins are often left unlocked, full of dry cardboard and soft plastic.
Shift the cardboard about, just in case anyone underneath it.
We've heard from drivers who, despite warnings, have found the same people sleeping in the same bins night after night.
I need to keep my eye on the camera, which is fixed on the top roof.
The trucks are fitted with cameras, so they should be able to see what is thrown inside. But if someone is hiding in the bottom of a container, drunk, passed out, or just asleep, they could still be missed. Your bins can be locked, so your customers have some sort of responsibility to make sure that they're in a safe state, that people don't climb in.
Yeah, every bin that we supply to our customers is lockable. There is a device on there that they can lock and secure the containers. Not all of the bins that we go to are locked.
People don't do it.
People don't do it.
But they have a responsibility.
Everybody has a responsibility. It's a UK-wide problem for everybody that produces waste.
The government says no one should have to sleep rough, and it is now increasing some funding to tackle homelessness. The only surefire way to cut the risk is to reduce the number on the streets. Figures out last week show the opposite is happening. The number sleeping rough in Bristol has more than doubled in a single year.